Today is crepe day, la chandeleur, and I'm having crepes for lunch. This is a French tradition. It's the only meal in the entire year where we essentially don't have a proper meal, but if you do that once in the year, it's fine. So I'm heating up my skillet. I prepared the batter yesterday. I do it a day in advance because it helps with any clumping that might happen, but it does need to be stirred up again, the butter separated. So give this a stir. All right, nice and homogeneous. My skillet is warm, and I'm going to oil it up. You don't want to put too much oil, just don't want it to stick. So a good method is to use a paper towel and put some oil on it and run it. Non-stick spray is also convenient. The not traditional French is not a thing over there. I don't trust it. I don't know what's in a non-stick spray, so I'm using my oil. The hardcore French would use butter, but that's harder to handle. All right, so let's go for first crepe. Full disclaimer, I'm not an expert at this, because first of all, one does not eat crepes every day. And second of all, I don't think I've made my own before. This is a first. So there it is. So I'll have to flip it. We'll see about that. Alright, so I'm flipping my first crepe. I've flipped pancakes before, but crepes are hard because they're thin. Go for it. Look at that. Success! So when I was a child, my mom would take out, it was 4 children, plus my dad. So she would take out all the skillets that she had and put them out on the stove, and she'd have multiple crepes going at once and moving them to the table. Cannot imagine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make mine and I'm going to keep them on a plate. That's a trick that I saw online. And I have it's kept on the plate is kept warm. So I'm going to put the crepe there. So it's on a hot plate with aluminum foil on top to prevent the crepes from drying out, and that will allow me to eat them all at once, as opposed to having to eat them at the stove while preparing them. As you can tell, it doesn't take long. It's thin. Crepes are thin, and they just get ready fast. So let me oil this up a little more. And really, it doesn't take a lot of oil, but you don't want them to stick. Second one. And when I was a kid, our school teacher would take. She lived upstairs in the schoolhouse, and there were at most a dozen children in la petite classe, grade kindergarten through grade 2, and then there was la grande classe, same number of children for grades up to 5. So she was in the classroom in la petite classe, and on crepe day, she would bring us up to her kitchen and make some crepes for us, and the brave ones among us would try and flip them. Often failed, so we had a number of crepes that ended up on the kitchen floor, which was fine because she had a puppy, Jodie, who was more than happy to pick up the fallen crepes. So I think the dog ended up eating more crepes than we did. I don't think think I tried it that time. I'm the shy type, so I'm not one to try in front of everybody and fail. Whoa! Well, okay. I've grown up. When I was a child, I was shy. Okay, I'm really proud of myself right now. It's like that's my second crepe that I've successfully flipped. So I'm going to make the rest of them and then enjoy them with some typical, well, nothing typical. When you make the crepe, you get to choose your toppings. So I have some of my favorites and what I have on hand, and that's what I enjoy. I'm ready to enjoy my crepes. I'm going to link the video of when I made the batter. And I have the answer. The recipe that I followed is indeed Canadian. Because when it comes to toppings, the recommendations are maple syrup. I'm mixing the French and English here. Sirop d'érable, maple syrup. And oddly, sauce au bleuet. Now, a bleuet in France is a wildflower, a blue wildflower. But in Quebec, it's a fruit. I think it's blueberries. So blueberry sauce makes more sense than the wildflower sauce. And their delicacies over there. So for me, I'm going to go with the stuff from my childhood. I think the plain sugar crepe remains my favorite. But Nutella also goes great on crepes. And any jelly of your choice, any jam of your choice, whatever you have at home. So here they are. I'm going to start with, let's see. I'm going to start with the Nutella. Nutella is a little finicky to put on. Sugar is easier. So crepes get messy, especially if you're doing this with children. The key is to not pile it on too much because it gets squeezed on the other end. So it's an art that one masters probably by age 16. But before then, you know, get ready for little hands that got stuff all over them. And stuff that's going to fall on clothes and everything. It's a messy process. So you put your toppings on and then you roll up your crepe. This is the best way to enjoy them. And eat them like a cigar. Nutella crepe is not bad at all. Very good. I think I might have another Nutella crepe later. But let me do the plain sugar one. This is where I get to find out exactly how well, I guess I could try one just raw. I haven't tried my raw batter, but the Nutella crepe was really good, so I'm guessing the batter's pretty good. I'll try it after I do this. So it's going to be the sugar one. I know on the internet, or like I see a lot of pictures of them, they fold in quarter and then eat maybe with knife, and no, none of that at my house. We rolled them up like cigarettes and we went for it. The French don't eat with their foods a lot, but I feel like crepe is one, it's finger food. Yeah, this is more pure. It's the taste of the batter itself with a bit of sugar. Yeah. Good crepe recipe I used for my batter. But then again, my family was half Swiss, so I don't think we cared about French norms as much. I don't know what they do in French families. The thing with crepes is you know, how many do you eat? You eat them until you're full. That's the idea. I ate 2 and I can tell clearly I'm not full yet. So I'm gonna do a 3rd one, and this time I'm gonna be using jam. This hot plate is working really well. I love that system. So jam is going to be more messy because it's harder to get that to be on a thin layer. Especially mine is lumpy. It's homemade from a frozen berry mix. Not high culinary, but lower in sugar than the ones you buy already made. All right. So I think this is going to run, but we'll do our best. I have to remember my teenage years when I had mastered this. Okay. But the jam is really good. I just finished crepe number 3. Still hungry, but I got thirsty, so I'm having some tea. For my next crepe, I'm coming back to Nutella. I think that the jelly was actually my favorite so far, but it's really rich. Not the Nutella is not rich. But I feel like the jelly was more rich. I think I'll finish my 5 crepes. I made 5, thinking that it would be about right. The recipe said it would make 14 crepes, and I didn't read for how many people that was. I assumed for 4. So if you do the math, well, no, probably not for 4. I have no idea. But I know I'm still hungry. But I think after this one I'll be less hungry, and the 5th one will be my last one. So maybe that was a recipe for 2. Yeah. I'm a small person, I don't need as much. Last crepe, I couldn't roll it because the hot plate was a little too hot, and it did end up cooking my bottom crepe a bit more, so it became hard. So that was 5. I think that would be the end of my meal. And I learned, like I used to just do sugar because that was just my favorite one, but my tastes have evolved. Maybe number 1, Nutella number 2, and sugar number 3. Well, the chandeleur is the day when I think most French families have crepes for lunch. You don't have to have them on that day and none of the other time. Actually, crepes are also a resort food. So if you go to the seashore or to a ski resort, they have those little shops where they sell crepes and waffles, usually in the same shop. So any time of year, really, if you want to enjoy some crepes, feel free.